Now, your first.
Good evening. The first snowflakes of the season are now very visible in Nebraska and South Dakota as this winter storm races across the plains. Some rain out ahead of the snow, even some thunderstorm activity evident in southern Nebraska there where you see the yellow and orange. This obviously is moving our way and will hit mainly after midnight tonight. As we go into tomorrow, some of us will have quite a bit of snow and wind to deal with. A winter storm warning from Sioux Falls to Yankton to O'Neill in the yellow. That's where the most severe impact of this storm will be. Meanwhile, for the northwest corner of Iowa, southeastern South Dakota, and over through Dixon County, Wayne to Norfolk, that's where we have a winter weather advisory. But even where we don't have those headlines, we will be seeing snow here tomorrow. It just may not accumulate quite as much in the south and east. 40 degrees in Wayne, but 34 in O'Neill. That cooler air not far away that will change the rain eventually over to snow. Rain at 2, 45, mixing at 6 with a temperature of 35. The morning commute could be tough as we change over to snow at 10. Temperatures falling below freezing by then. The latest look at how much snow to expect, when and where in just a few. It's time for your news.
Now on ABC 9 News.
We are ready.
Siouxland crews are poised to wait for our first taste of winter.
Yep, he was a good kid. Miss him a lot.
Iowa parents mourning the death of their son win a huge settlement, but there's still a fight to come in court.
These Siouxland birds won't be on the menu this Thanksgiving thanks to some presidential intervention.
Never in a million years did I ever think we'd be doing that.
Now, live with local news that matters. From KCAU-TV in Sioux City, Iowa, this is ABC 9 News at 10.
And good evening. We're glad that you're with us tonight. I'm Tim Seaman.
And I'm Jenna Renstrom. Siouxland is bracing tonight for our first winter storm of the season. In fact, we're just a few hours away from the arrival of snow.
Winter weather warnings and advisories are in effect across a significant portion of the KCAU-9 viewing area, including Union County, South Dakota, right here in the metro.
We begin our storm team coverage tonight with KCAU-9's Bria Bell. She's live at the Sioux City Street Department garage where the plows are ready to hit the roads. Bria?
Tim and Jenna, winter is upon us. It's a lot colder now than what it has been for the last couple of days. And with the shift in weather, Siouxlanders are gearing up to take on what could be a couple of inches of snow. Strong winds, foreshadowing the snow that's predicted to come.
We are ready.
Now that winter is near, Siouxlanders are gearing up to face the flurries, but say they are happy that it's taken this long to witness any type of snowfall.
I think it's the best fall I've ever experienced in my whole life. It's just been amazing. So we're always shocked when the first winter comes.
Norfolk Street Department has been prepping to clear roadways for drivers since the end of summer. The city is expected to see 2 to 3 or possibly 4 inches of the white stuff.
I just talked to our street superintendent, and the guy's been working pretty much all the last couple of days getting everything up to snuff and ready to roll.
Sioux City has spent about the same amount of time getting their drivers and plow trucks ready. 2 inches of snow is expected to fall, but no matter what, the department says,
either way, we'll be ready to go.
Both Norfolk and Sioux City Street Departments want to remind drivers to take it slow on the slick roads and to give plow trucks enough room to clear the streets. Reporting live in Sioux City, Bria Bell, KCAU 9 News.
Thanks so much for that report tonight, Bria. And the snow, of course, something Fred's been following for a few days.
So what should we expect, Fred?
Well, it's going to be rain first east of 29 overnight. If you're west of 29, the snow is not far away. You can see what I mean here as this storm moves across Nebraska at a very rapid clip. We now have snow in central Nebraska. So the cool air, of course, coming from the west, that means western parts of Siouxland will get the snow first. But there's quite a bit of rain falling in central and southern Nebraska right now. There you can see that in the yellow and orange. So plenty of moisture. That's, of course, concerning if you don't like a lot of snow because we already have the moisture moving into the Midwest. That's not going to be a problem in terms of producing quite a bit of snow. So in the yellow, that's the winter storm warning from Sioux Falls to Yankton to O'Neill. That's where the worst combination of snow and wind will be seen. Then in the winter weather advisory, Norfolk, Wayne, up through Dixon County, Clay County, so Vermilion, as well as Union County, then up to Lyon and Sioux counties in Iowa, a winter weather advisory. An advisory means travel will be hampered but not to the extent that you'd see in a warning. Okay, well, what about Sioux City, points south and east? Not necessarily a crippling storm, but we are talking about at least some snow, light amounts generally, and strong winds. So for tonight, increasing wind as that storm gets closer, a rain-snow mix after midnight tomorrow. That's when we expect winds gusting. I've reduced that now to 40 miles an hour with some blowing snow. A rain-snow mix, mostly snow though. Heaviest snow north and west where the morning commute, especially around Yankton, Sioux Falls, that is going to be a tough morning commute. Here is the snow forecast. As you can see, things have not changed a lot, and that actually lends a lot of confidence to our forecast. Maybe an inch or so around Sioux City, but look west, 2, maybe 3 inches toward Yankton and Sioux Falls. A wind advisory will be in effect for Sioux City, and everybody shaded in the light tan for tomorrow for those high gusts. And I want to remind everybody we have team coverage of tomorrow's snow starting at 5 a.m. I will be in. Meteorologist Scott Larson will be in. Meteorologist Elisa Raffa will be in as well. We'll have reports from both inside and outside the studio, looks at what's happening outside, the latest on road conditions, and of course, the latest radar. This is a great time to download the free ABC9 weather app so you can track the changes on the go, and there will be quite a few changes to track tomorrow.
And Fred, already one school change, a 2-hour late start for Laurel, Concord, Coleridge there in Cedar County, right in that warning area.
It's probably a good move.
Thanks, Fred.
Now to some breaking news this hour as a semi-truck carrying a trailer full of hogs overturns along a busy Sioux City street. You're looking at the scene of the truck rollover. It's near the intersection of Military Road and Riverside Boulevard. There are no injuries reported. Plenty of hogs can be seen wandering the roadside tonight. Authorities are working to round those animals up. They're also in the process of getting another truck to the scene to haul away some hogs. No word yet on what caused that truck to overturn.
An Iowa astronaut has blasted off into the record books tonight. 56-year-old Peggy Whitson is now the oldest woman in outer space. She was launched into orbit out of Kazakhstan Station in Russia for her 3rd visit to the International Space Station. Whitson grew up in Mount Ayr, Iowa, and studied biochemistry at Iowa Wesleyan University. Whitson will be celebrating her 57th birthday in February on the International Space Station.
Investigators tonight trying to figure out what caused a natural gas explosion that rocked an Illinois community, leaving 1 dead and at least a dozen injured. That blast ignited in the downtown section of Canton, which is in the central part of Illinois, about 150 miles southwest of Chicago. Utility workers trying to fix a gas leak at the time when that explosion erupted. More than 50 buildings were damaged.
The state of Missouri will pay $9 million to the family of an Iowa man who drowned after he fell out of a boat handcuffed while in the custody of a state trooper. The settlement ends a civil lawsuit filed by the family of 20-year-old Brandon Elligson. He died 2 years ago at the Lake of the Ozarks. Elligson was arrested on suspicion of boating while intoxicated and was being transported by a trooper at the time he fell overboard. The family alleges the trooper, the state, and the Missouri State Highway Patrol were liable in the death. And his father says no amount of money, though, will bring his son back.
Yep, he was a good kid. I miss him a lot. Sorry. He was a great boy.
The Ellingson family is from Clive, Iowa, a Des Moines suburb.
Prosecution has wrapped its case in the first-degree murder trial of a Sioux City man. 35-year-old Isaac Abdiner is accused of fatally stabbing 43-year-old Cornelia Steed during an argument last year. The last prosecution witness to take the stand this afternoon was the specialist who conducted the autopsy on Steed. He described a particularly violent attack, saying Steed was stabbed by a knife a total of 23 times.
The death occurred as a result of actions by another human.
And what did you determine the manner of death of Miss Steed to be?
Homicide.
Now, the court will take tomorrow off before the defense begins presenting its case on Monday. Abdiner faces a sentence of life in prison without parole if he's convicted.
Siouxland's second largest community unveiled some expansion plans tonight. The city of Norfolk held a public gathering to show off plans that are in the works for the future of the community. Numerous concepts for housing, commercial development, and employment opportunities were showcased. City planners tell us they couldn't be more excited about Norfolk's future.
Norfolk is a great place in a lot of ways, and in many ways what's happened with communities this size, 25,000 or less, is they've gotten lost in the rural landscape. But what's nice about Norfolk is it has a significant manufacturing base, and it has a lot of place elements that are very interesting here.
Tonight's draft proposals will be finalized by Norfolk's Planning Commission and the City Council early next year.
When President Obama pardons this year's Thanksgiving turkeys next week, he'll have an Iowa producer to thank. This year's presidential turkey flock of 2 birds was specially raised near Storm Lake by Siouxland farmer Chris Domino. Today, his birds paid a visit to area schools, including Holstein Elementary, where students were able to see the big birds up close and learn what it takes to raise a turkey with presidential pedigree.
We practice putting them on a podium, let them listen to the radio, so they get accustomed to noises and voices, and spend time with them, feed them by hand, give them treats, talk to them, give them baths.
After being sparred, the cutting board Domino's bird will head to Virginia Tech University, where they will feature it in a newly built enclosure. The Domino family has been raising turkeys for about 9 years and say this kind of honor is more than they could have ever planned for.
Never in a million years did I ever think we'd be doing that. But it's been really, really fun, really exciting, and we're just really grateful.
The Dominoes raise about 185,000 birds a year, none getting the attention this pair is guaranteed. The birds, by the way, head to Washington after a special send-off tomorrow.
They're beautiful.
They are.
What do you think they get for treats?
Well, I didn't ask, but that's a good question. You stumped me. I'm not sure what turkeys get fed besides grain.
We'd like to know. Still to come, are you in the holiday spirit? You will be after seeing some beautiful homes Siouxlanders got to tour in Whispering Creek. We'll tell you what that's all about.
And the storm will be arriving tonight. Some of us will see a difficult morning commute, especially in the northwest. Rain and snow and wind will all be threats with this system, and of course it will be much cooler. Full details next. Stay with us.
You're watching ABC 9 News at 10 with Tim Seaman, Jenna Renstrom, Chief Meteorologist Fred Hexham, and Sports Director Chris Palmquist. This is ABC 9 News at 10.